to this computer. Here we are, Tuesday, 2:32 or 2:10:01, March the 23rd. Spring is here. The birds are chirping outside. The squirrels are running around. And we're in here thinking about digital imaging. Oh, I didn't want to show that. I wanted to show this. Week 8. I'm going to send a updated grading after spring break, so you know where you're at for our last, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. So this is what we're doing today. Do project 2 picture perfect. So does anybody have a any questions on this? I've got 3 I've already submitted, and I'll send grades. Anyway, that's how that should look, right? Before, after, and this is on a larger page than I've asked for. This, by the way, here is layer. Here's something new. Image. This is image size here. This is 17 by 12 by 300. Well, we don't need that. We need 8.5 by 11. No, 11 wide by 8.5 by submission 150 would be fine for me. You really need to do any kind of retouching high resolution 300, but for submission purposes, to me, or the box, if you sample this down to 150, but keep your original at 300, because you may want to revise for a better grade at the end of the semester. Everything that you have submitted can be updated at the end of the semester if you so choose. So, but I'm going to go and do what I just said I was going to do right here. Image, and say do this. This here will resize the image. I guess I should show how that works. If I was to go 11, and this is locked, so it's only go 7, 7, 7, 6. So that's going to get smaller, and the photographs are going to get smaller as well, because everything stays in proportion. But I can go over here and change the canvas size, image, canvas size, keeping the image, the photographs in the center, and go 11 by 8.5. Now that's going to crop the image and get rid of this border, and it'll be a target size. Okay. And the smaller, I'm going to get rid of this stuff, but this should fit. These should fit, I think. And they do, just barely. So I'm going to go and move this. Nobody's going to have to do this. I'm just showing you how this works. This is like something new, because you'll bring your target, your retouching over to the target, and the target will be 8.5 by 11, 8.5 by 11 image size. Now this is 11 by 8.5 by 300. So if I keep this linked and not do this, because that'll make it go smaller if this resolution is linked to the size as we remember, and do that and go 150. That's all I need to the fonts, like these. What it's saying here is that my font right here is not loaded. It's not in the machine. So I'm not going to worry about that. But that's what that little triangle is. Oh, something's wrong with this font. It's not. You got to reset it. You got to reset it. So, but I'm going to go okay. And there is my. Notice this at 21.9%. That's in ratio to screen size. So I'm going to put that back at 100. There we go. And that's what it looks like. But we're missing one thing here, which is I could go now, and I don't need this to be on layers. You need it on layers for your own, I'll flatten in a second, for your own referral if you want to work on it later. But what I want to do here is go layer, new adjustment layer, and I'm going to go and use hue saturation because it's fun. And I'm going to, oh, I really want it on, not on the before, but I want it on the after, because I want to change the tint of this. So it's a more modern black and white. So I'm going to go, and this just shows me that you know how to do this. Layer, new adjustment layer, hue saturation. And I'm going to use that radio button to clip it to that layer and go, oh, okay. And there are my properties somewhere here. I'm going to colorize this and take the saturation down so it looks, and see how I can get that so it looks like a black and white photograph. How nice is that? Okay, so I'm done with that. Now I flatten this image, and I'm ready to save this. I save this, send this to me like this, and so then I'll come up here and take a look at it and see if it is nicely done. Like that one's nicely done. That's the example. Do you have any questions out there on this? One, two, three, three, two, one. Oops, I moved that. All right, so then everybody's got a instructions on how to submit picture perfect, right? Yes. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it when you call. I'm not gonna say that. So we're set with this spring break. We got a tutorial to do today, and next week we're going to do a presentation of type and image montage in class. But I think what I should do is do this tutorial which is what's new. I'm finally going to get to smart objects, then redo the 5 techniques in different ways. Here they are: layer styles, adjustment layers, modes, filters, layer masks. These are required and will be looked at with regards to grades for this montage project 3. And also the montage has to have some aesthetic flair to it, and typography works well. So I want to go through and address those things with the 10 gorgeous birds, the gorgeous birds tutorial, and then I'm going to give an example of a photo montage that inspired this project as you have received it. And then we'll see what else you want to do. So to start with that, I've got to go over here and find my 5 techniques. Oh, gorgeous birds. This is what we're going to do. I'll open this up because it's kind of my instructions. And that I've got a bunch of type stuff going on there that I'm going to get to at the end. But that's kind of what we're doing. And some version of that. And now I'm going to open up the, oh, that's another version of it. That's interesting. See, it can, another version of it. The 5 10, and there's another version of it. This is just to identify the 5 techniques. And here is, I think that you have this all, oh, should I check? I should check. Because I can't remember. Or maybe I have a student folder here. I don't know if you have them all loaded up or separate. I forgot. student folder. This is what you got. Gorgeous birds. Fruit, flowers, birds, baby, star. That's what you want. So we do this way. There's a star. Let me move this over on my other screen. And duck, bird, fruit, duck, bird, fruit, flowers. So, baby paddling. There we go. So I'm going to go and do this and drag that over. So, and that way I don't get a smart object. And there's the paddling baby. And then I'm going to go baby, bird, and this is really, except for the smart object, this everything I'm doing here is review, but I'm going to do it in a different way than climate change because it's a different kind of imagery. And just so we know, because everybody ought to, when they open their images up, see what size it is. 8 by 5 by 72. So it will end up being small. You'll not have any problem emailing it to me, as some people did with the Picture Perfect. But we kind of went through that. Flowers. So here's some flowers. Very much bigger. This image is much bigger than the target image size. 8 by 5 by 350. So that's why that came in big. And so I'll have to scale that down. But let me go get the last one, which is the fruit. There's the fruit. All right, so that was the same size. And duck, bird, fruit, flowers. I think I need that. Duck, bird, fruit, flowers. All right, so I'm going to go, if I scroll out on a big image like this, and then I go edit, transform, scale, edit, transform, scale, or Command T, that, oh, I'm on the wrong layer. That's why the anchor points are there. I'm on the wrong layer. I want to go up here, and I'm going to go Command T. You can see how big that is. And I could only get to that if I scrolled out to see the boundary box. It's way big. So I just can grab that, and that will scale in proportion without any keystrokes. You used to have do a keystroke. So I can bring that right back down to there, and I can scroll, roll the bar, scroll up, and say that's close enough. So return. And the first thing I want to do is go to the dock and see what I did here. Oh, it's the introduction of a smart filter. So this is above the background layer, and what I want to do is we remember that we can do a layer mask, and put a mask on this layer and cover and paint the mask on to show the background layer, which would be white. And we remember we can go to a new adjustment layer and pick any of these and adjust the color, and it'll be above the layer. And we can adjust the color because it's a mask. We can adjust the color in part of the area and reveal the original. We did that with the piggy. Remember this little guy? Now, so we can do those adjustments, color, area, and now we're going to be able to do the same thing, which is to do with a filter by changing this into a smart object. So all of these then are Not, see, up until right now, if I want here and put filter and put a noise on it and up that, noise. Wow, there's a lot of noise. And I do that and I go, okay, I can't change it because it's there on that image. Only if I can only go Command Z or go to histories to get it back. Well, here is what a smart object, what fabulous thing a smart object does is it allows you to be fluid, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth with your just with your image, your layer, just like the adjustment layer and layer mask. Smart object, convert to smart object. Okay, there is my symbol of a smart object. Up until now, that was like, oh, we don't want to do that unless we need to do it. And now we need to do it because I want to put a filter on this without applying it. And I'm going to just do that again, add noise. So there's the noise. So, okay, but that's poor little ducky. You can't see the ducky. So what, look, I got the filter. There's the mask. Here is the layer, and there's nothing on it because it's just, all it is a layer of noise. And if I am framed up, just like I were a layer mask or adjustment, like framed up on this, not on this, not on this, see that frame? On this, I can say, all right, I don't want the noise on the ducky's head. I can go to get to my paintbrush, and I'm going to use my bracket because I like to use, this is the right bracket, this is the left bracket, it's the right bracket. Now this is going to work with a foreground background color. So wow, unbelievable. X, there's my noise back. X, there is, I'm showing the ducky's head. Here is my mask. That's what I painted right there. And isn't that fabulous? Fabulous, right? Yes. Thank you, Kyra. Thank you, SC. Thank you, Alyssa. I need a little encouragement as well. All right, so that's one fabulous thing. So that's what's new. We got to do it that way. All filters are done with smart objects, and then you do a filter. I could do another filter on a filter. So let's go and try that to see what that does. The filter. Of course, I got this filter gallery and all the stuff that's in there, and you can explore that. Blur, motion blur. I don't know how this is going to work. Problem here, I'm on the mask. I'm going to motion blur the mask. I wonder if that works. Oh, look at that. Yes, of course it works. I motion blur the mask. So that's put an edge on a filter. Let's cancel that. Let's go to the layer and go filter, blur, motion blur. There's a motion blur. So I got two motion blur and an add noise. So you can add these things up if you want, so choose. So we'll do a little bit of that. So it's not only noise, but I've customized the noise. That's pretty neat. So anyway, there is smart object filters. You got to make the smart object layer. I wonder, I think this doesn't show up. Layer, smart object, convert to smart object. There it is. That's still there here. Layer, sometimes they go away. Layer, smart object, convert to smart object. Yes, there it is. All right. So that's basically what a smart object does. It does other things, but we don't have to worry about that. That's all I care about in this class. Now I got to do something. I got the bird. Oh, here we're doing the 5 techniques. That's what this is about. So I'm going to do the bird with a mode. I got an indented identified in my instructions. So I'm just highlighted that, and I'm using my arrow keys to see which one I like. Uh-oh, I got a problem. A bird is right on top of the ducky. Which one is the one that I like? I'm gonna go and change this. I'm gonna let first so I can see it. Layer, 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 flip the layer, edit, let's edit, transform, wrong, pull down, flip horizontally, edit, transform, flip horizontally. So now the bird is not in front of the duck. So what if I had them, it'd be interesting if they were facing each other. So now I'm just getting in the composition side of it. Adjust, transform, flip. This is the duck. So there's the duck. Uh-oh, it didn't take the mask with it. But I'm gonna go and move this. Now that's moving the mask. Very strange. I'm going to take that off and move it. Oh, the problem is here is this. That's unfortunate. I wonder if I can do this. How can I make that work? Any ideas out there? There is, I should be able to move this mask by grabbing that and moving it. See, I'm on the mask, so I'm down here. This is highlighted. So I'm moving that mask, and let's see how this looks. Oh, you know something? I don't want to get you guys all too in, give you guys a bunch of stuff that it'll be hard for you to do. So I'm going to go back and not do this. I was projecting in my head is, I can extend this easily, transform that and bring that out and patch that. But that's too much. And you could I could take this, edit, transform, and pull this out, and it'll look fine. You wouldn't know the difference when the bird was on it. But that is like too much to ask. I gotta keep this simple. So I'm gonna go to histories, and the bird, the duck will stay in the same place. I'm just going back into there, the duck, and I got to go back further. I can do it here. Anyway, it's like history. Disable all smart filters, label. That's it. All right, I went back in history and got everything back. I got a layer, transform. So you can get going on this, edit, transform, and go down a long road and not be quite sure how you got there, which is okay. It's like painting a picture. You add, subtract. And now I was going to go and do this mode thing. Pick a mode. So we want to do our five techniques. And that's all right. Overlay. So here's overlay. Now I want to go to get some. I want a layer style and a layer mask on the fruit. There's a fruit. Layer mask. I want to isolate the fruit. How could we do that? I wonder. I wonder if I should go and do this time. I could do this a number of different ways. Select, select a mask. We could do it this way. And I want to get the quick selection tool. And do I have to go through everything here? I can't make it that any bigger than that. Oh, there must be a better way to do this. So what if I was to, what if it's the object thing does it? Select the object. Let's select them all. Well, no. It didn't. It didn't. I'm trying to make this easy. And you know something? It's not, it's easier outside of this module. So I'm going to do it easier outside of this module with this magic wand tool, because I can go, you know, this quick selection tool, let's do it with, in the module, quick selection tool was this. And it was doing that, and I was going, but you're seeing it with the mask. And I was going the selection, shift, add to the selection, and I had to go through all of that. But this tool is not in that module, which is the magic wand tool. And if I go up here and make that contiguous is off 20, and I go right here, I got it all and I click. So in the module, it worked better here than in the module. So now I'm going to go, and it took me a minute to figure that out. Layer, mask, reveal all. And then I want to go, that's a selection. I'm on my mask, delete. It didn't do it, so I got to reverse the foreground background colors, X, delete. I got it. Command D. Everybody got that? Yes, everybody got that. You don't, if I'm doing something you don't understand this, you got to come up and say, explain this better. That's you guys' responsibility. Now, if I wanted to finesse this, I see I'm doing the wrong thing, so I got to do X. Now I'm doing the right thing. I could finesse this and get rid of those shadows, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'll do this. This is just a tutorial. This is a project that would be very important to that was out of the window, and that's why that's there. I can X, cover that up. V, move tool, I'm moving the image, and so I want to see the duck in the bird's head. So there we go. He's eating this peach, I guess. And now that is the go back to my directions. That's the layer style, layer mask, adjustment layer. Oh, this is on the flowers. So let's go back to this one. I've got just so you know what's going on. That's on my separate screen, so I'm jumping back and forth. Let's go back to this one, and here's the flowers. And I want to do the flowers. Let's try that module here. Select a mask, because this will work here. And let's try that and see if this works. The red is a similar red, so that's what's happening here. And now I want to go and use this here and pick out. Of course, Option, It's not working. Option, shift, option, there. I don't know, it didn't work the first time. But I can option, this is the same as targeting a foreground background color, but in this model, because there is no foreground background, you got made the key option, but I don't really have to do it here because I can do it when I put it on the image, which would be 2-layer mask, okay, and there it is, and there's my mask, there it is, and I can come up here, and maybe it's easier because well, look at the brush is in that model, but I can do this with the brush, and I am, what's below it happens to be the color of red. It isn't, it's not the mask. Or no, I am, let me see what I'm doing here. There I have the, I'm working on the mask because it's highlighted here. And I got that framed up and I'm cutting a hole in this supposedly. And I'm checking everything. Opacity 100%. We get closer to this. Toggle my foreground background color. All these things have to work together. And now it's working. So I've been doing this for years. You can see that you still got to take a look and make sure everything's set up correctly. And if all of those things aren't set up correctly, like opacity, foreground background color, are you on the mask? Are you engaged with the mask down here? All those things got to be together. And I can finesse my flowers. And I can do a perfect job. This is not perfect because I don't want to take efficient time. Option scroll up. A little bigger. A little bigger. All right, let's get back. Okay, then I wanted to do a gradient adjustment. I'm going to bring these down. I'm going to go back, make sure I'm on the image, so I'm just not moving the mask. And I'm going to bring that down so I can see the flowers and the fruit. And I want to go and change the color of the flowers. So I'm going to click up here. I'm going to go to Layer, New Adjustment Layer, and you could do any one you want here. But I'm going to use Hue Saturation because it works so well and it is visually vibrant. I'm going to change the hue to bright green or something else. Purple. I like purple because it kind of goes with that green, not another green. And then I'm going to go, I'm on the mask. I'm going to go to my gradient. And this gradient, because it's working with a mask, which is grayscale, black to white, I'm going to make sure that this is black to white. Otherwise, it will be a shade of gray. If this is a color green, the foreground color won't be green. It'll be the value of gray that corresponds to green. And I'm going to go across here and see what I got. Beautiful. Halfway. Beautiful. A little more. I'm on that. I've got all these other star pattern. That's interesting. Try that. All right, so there is my masterpiece right there. And last time I did this, the masterpiece looked like this. I don't know, is one any better than the other? They're different, but you do your own. All right. Now, what I want to demonstrate here is, I'll use this one. It's similar enough to this. There's a lot. This version, here's version. This is last semester's version. I want to talk about typography because not only your image has to have relate to typography, because type and image is one of the most important things designers have to solve in putting together their communication pieces, whatever they may be. So I'm gonna make some suggestions here, such as don't do this, because we read left to right, and this your eye has to do this. What that cursor is doing, a bit of a cursor. So you're reading this way, this way, this. So it's really hard to read this, and don't ever do this for anything. Don't do this. And another thing to do would be to make a graphic bar of some sort, and it doesn't have to be have a filter on it. This has a filter on it. It can be just a graphic bar of a color or a filter. It's up to you. We're doing creative things now. We're in the creative part of this class where we do have fun. It can be anything you want, and put the letters in it. Do this. Now, when I say this, you're setting the letters by using this graphic bar apart from the image. And you've seen this in posters and stuff a lot. And that is one way to really make the typography convincing. And in fact, there's another relationship between the type and the image. This relationship, it is set apart from the image. But there's also a relationship of scale, which is, what do you see first, the type or the image? And so you should take that into consideration, because maybe you don't want to see the type first. Maybe you want to see it second. Now, which is to say, I could put a mode on this and push this type back. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. That's the type. That's where it should be on. I'm going to go up here and I'm going to make that type less significant by putting a mode on it that will work like that. You see how visually I'm seeing the flowers and the bird first? So that's one way to do it. And another way to do it is just to scale it. And that bar could stay that size, but I can scale this type down, and it's not moving. Why? I'm not in my move tool. Yes. Now that's another way. That's kind of nice. So it's not, you're seeing the image first, and then you're seeing the type. Of course, I could put a mode on the bar. And that works as well, because they're kind of there. That's pretty. That blends them together. So this is the kind of stuff that you want to experiment on this montage creative. Or do this. Now, what this is doing is it's inside the image by echoing it, paralleling it. And how do I get that? I get that by going to my type tool and going to this this arc thing here and moving it. Let's see if it works. And positioning it. So it relates to the typography. And you have all these options here that you can play with. So that's another way to do this typography, to do this. Or you can do this. Oh, big type. It's kind of aligned. It's over the top of the image, and it's bold, so it really shows up more dominant, and making that, what would make that even more dominant would be maybe to change that color. Well, white is pretty, but what if it was purple? Do this. I mean, that kind of fits a little better. Of course, or this. That's nice. That cat could have a bar in it. Where is this white thing? You know, this. If I go and I click on, all you have to do is click on it, and it's in here. So I'm going to make this so it works. I'm on the mask. I'm taking the that in here. Oh, I know why. Because I got to use this tool. See, I'm trying to get rid of that little bar. There. Everybody knows how I did that. And E. And or this, where I'm relating the type to the edge. You would not want to do edit transform this. You would not want to do that. You'd want to do this. And also, I'm going to go back to, I'm going to want to demonstrate a couple other things. So I'm trying to give you kind of an overview of typography. What if I was to, let me try this. I'm going to go and put that right here and see what happens if I do a clipping mask. I'm going to pull my layer down because we've done this over the flowers. We've done this. Oh, it masks out. Nancy. It masks out. Let me break that because I'm not quite sure what it did. Do this. Let me do it again. Make sure. It has this gradient on it. I took the gradient off. I'm just exploring this. I'm making a clipping layer with we did this with I Can See the Future. Clipping layer, that's pulling my option down. And really what that has to, way that works is, and I just remembered it's going to be below it. And that's a clipping layer. And now that worked. I just remembered how to do that, but that's not what I want. So I'll layer I'm doing it by a keystroke. Create clipping mask. I want to get rid of the clipping mask. There's a clipping mask. Create clipping mask. Oh, the clipping mask is 2 clipping masks here. This, very interesting. Look at that. That's great. So what do we do here? We've got the flowers that are a clipping mask with the type through the fruit. Very interesting. Let's get rid of this type. I'll just move this up. Here's my do this. But we have discovered something here that's pretty interesting. Let me put that gradient back on. And what if I was to do a clipping mask on this gradient? Layer, create clipping mask. That's interesting. See what it looks like without it? With it. Very interesting. Is this confusing to everybody? I'm kind of experimenting. I'm doing this kind of on the fly because I understand kind of what these things do. I did a keystroke, which is option that does that clipping mask, but here it is, layer. Where was it? A release clipping mask right here. Release. There it is. That's that gradient. There's a gradient. It's over the fruit. No, it's over the flowers and the fruit. But the fruit is clipped throughout. The flowers are clipped So the fruit is actually doing the clipping to clip off the edge of the flower. So let's go over here to layer, layer, release clipping mask. And there we go. So there is the adjustment, the hue saturation adjustment layer, and it's on everything. If I wanted this hue saturation adjustment layer just to be on the flowers, see it's on the bird and the fruit. I just want on the flowers. I'll go layer, what was it? Create clipping mask. And there, it's just on the flowers. That's how we started out. So, but let's now clip the flowers through the fruit. And that was pretty neat. I just discovered it. So this is how you do this project is experiment with these advanced techniques. Fabulous. That made a much clearer image and much more interesting as well. We like that? Yes, we like that. Can you do this? Can you do this? Or you really want to do that? Let's do this. Where's the other do this? Do this. No. Do this. Do this. Oh, and by the way, this is up here. And I'm going to go layer, layer, layer style. I don't know. You know, you can if you want to get really zooty and extravagant and decorative, go for it. Because what I'm trying to encourage you to do is explore all this, like I am exploring it, and it's great fun. And I've done this many times, and every time I come up with something that I haven't explored before, just like today, and not every time, but lots of times. And there is, you like that yellow? Maybe. We want it to be more green because it's maybe. But we can change this. That is a outer glow and a bevel and emboss, just a very bad. Go up, I gotta highlight it and take it down. Size, chisel, outer bevel. That's, oh, maybe it needs to be an inner bevel. That's better. I forgot these weird colors going on here. Highlight mode. Oh, highlight mode. Maybe we want that. It's subtle. Shadow. Maybe we want that normal. Doesn't do anything. Normal. Darker. Overlay. I don't really see anything. It's the type's too small. Size. You get the idea. Overlay. Yeah. I wanted to do this enough so you could see it. Now that the type's so small, I'm getting into pixelization. So if on your, what size is this? Image size, you're going to do this at 72 because it's just a tutorial, but your montage will be 150. And then will mean I'm really close to this. You can almost see the pixelization. That'll make when you do something this small, it won't be as pixelated because the resolution will be higher. So anyway, that's pretty interesting. Let's call it a finished project. Any questions out there, team? Whoa, no. Kyra, how you doing?
I'm good.
Did I overload you here?
A little bit, but when I rewatch the video, I'll slow it down and
Okay.
do it.
All right. All right. SC, how you doing? Thumbs up. Paulina, you all right?
Good. Sorry.
All right. Everything's all right? All right, so then we're done with that. I want to show you, maybe I'll save this because it was such a fabulous exploration. See, it'll save it for my 5 techniques. So replace, gorgeous birds, 3.23, save, okay. Okay. That's where we started. Should changed up. All right, I won't say that. And so I'm just not saving these things. But I do want to go and show you my, remind everybody. This. Oh, wait a minute. 6 techniques. Working with Photoshop. This is, I flattened it. Oh, no, I didn't. Here it is. 6 techniques. Oh, no, I flattened it. This is just a screenshot. I don't have this file anymore. It's a screenshot. Do the 5 techniques. Why did I say 6 techniques? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Layer mask, layer styles, adjustment layers, smart objects, filters, modes. And here's another variation of that image. So that's part of this gold, just to remind everybody, don't save this. I'm going to go now. I'm going to show you something that I just glanced across, which is just what you call value added. This is some beginning of a painting I was doing a while back, and I just took a snapshot of it. And I wanted to show you, this is just not related to what we're doing, but it's related to transformation rules. You see this is supposed to be square, so I'm going to go edit, and you don't have to do this, you don't even have it. But if I was to go, I'm going to go and duplicate this so it's on a double layer, another layer. So there's 2 copies of that. Just to go to show you that I have all of these different types of perspective, scale, rotate, skew, distort. See, that distorts it in a different, not evenly. Escape, edit, transform. We in warp, we really did perspective warp. No, we didn't know we're going to do perspective warp. I demonstrated this where we can warp this. That's the image below it using these handles. And here's the anchor points. I just wanted to go and escape just to run through this. Now I'm going to go, I don't think I need this layer now. I needed those other layers to be able to engage the transformation or that second layer, but I can do this perspective warp right on 1 layer. And the way this works is layout. I want to click and set this grid or this mesh on what I want to straighten out. And again, you don't have to do this. This is just something I added through because I saw it as I saw it coming through. And then I want to pick the way it's going to straighten, and I want it both left and right. Oh, first I got to pick warp, and this is fabulous. Wow, look at that. Straighten that right out, and then I hit the check mark, okay, and then I go and crop it, and I got the beautiful painting, photograph, artwork to submit for the art exhibition. Anyway, I'm going to go now to the case study, and I'm just going to. This was the inspiration for the project we were doing. I did a number of years ago for annual report, which is a bank financial statement. But I had the opportunity to do the montage illustration for it, and I just want to step through it so you can see how I did it. Because I'm going to ask, this is like part of the 5 techniques. I'm not sure if I used all these techniques, cancel, move this over, and just to make it so it's easier to see this stuff, I'll get rid of these. Now it's a little easier to see. All right, so this is the total image right here. Get out of the crop tool, I'm not cropping it. And this is Command colon, that's all my guides. And that's the spine right there. And that's a front cover. This is the back cover. And these lines were typed, this photograph went into an InDesign layout software, and the type came in and the logos, etc. But I wanted to show you how I did this. And I'll just take a few minutes to do this, and then we'll be done. So I'm going over, and I'm going to ask everybody to do what I'm doing when they present their montage next time we meet. Take all eyeballs off, start at the bottom. There's something left on here. And show what we did. Right here is a, and I'll go Command colon and take off the guide just so we can see the image. But the guides were ways to align these photographs. This is a blurred, filter blurred, and I'm not using any smart filters because they weren't invented when I did this image. Disable layer mask, but I could have if they were invented. So that's a stock photograph that I blurred left to right. And that's the mask right there. And there's my channels. Channels can focus. And that's what the mask looks like. So if I disable that mask, right click, disable mask, you get the entire image. Mask. Disable mask. There's your image. So I'm kind of using this mask as a paintbrush. I'm kind of painting it. Notice how it kind of aligns with the guides. And then I added another image, duplicated it because I'm making the eye, I'm making composition with these photographs. Let me try to get rid of some of this stuff. So that your eye goes, it pulls the entire image together. So there's very much of an aesthetic intention here. And there is another mask or another image. Oh, and it has a mode on it, overlay, and it's over, that's why I can't see it right now because it's over the image below it. So they're combined together with a mode, overlay. And here is normal, and there it is overlay. So they combined it, and I'm trying to make that more abstract. I duplicated that, and there's the mask, disable layer mask. So it looks like that. So it's on top. So it's trying to be more abstract, but you still read the content of it. It's people walking in the street. When I'm making it a background and pushing it back. This is one of their clients, and that has a mode on it, hard light, and there is a mask on it, and that's the mask. And if you notice that I only used all of the masks I used were a layer mask. That's a laptop mask. That's right there. So if I go to the next one, you'll see that the laptop mask goes away, and it's a, I can't move that because it's going to go in the application frame. It's the world mask. And so here's the first part of the world right there. And I'm going to disable that. That's what it looks like without the mask. And it's got an overlay. So it's blending through the building is blending through it. And then I put another one on because it was a little weak. So I just duplicated it and punched it up. And there's the top of it, of the globe. And there is how I am bringing this composition so your eye goes like this, and then it bends with the pharmaceutical stuff in this curve. So it's really, there's a direction to this. And this that right there is the only real alpha channel or mask I made. And it looks like that. And this was done all by hand. And that's why when we go way back to the grid that we made, which is why this is so simple. Why we're doing this grid? Well, this is why, because you can do some very complex work. And I did this and I saved it because I was afraid I was going to lose it. So I didn't make it, put it on a, and it's on a couple different layers. So it had to be its own, it had to be saved here and not as a layer mask, or I decided that. Here's a little bit more of it. There is the top of it with a gradient to make it disappear. There's the rest of it. That's much subtler. Here is another device that has a mask on it. And here is adding to it a little more piece by piece. There's the first word, and this has a screen mode. That's what it looks like with an opacity of 80% or 6%. So when I typed it in, it looked like that. I brought this down to 60% opacity, and I put a mode on it, and it was, I think it was screen, and so it blended it in. And then I put another on top of the other, and I put a screen, so it's blending on into the one below it, and it's still showing the stuff, tower beneath it. And here we have, at this point, I went and said, okay, I'm ready for the corporate colors. There's the corporate colors. And I made a print, and I said it needs to be a little more textural. So I did a version of it, so it kind of goes from the cyan to the purple, made it very pretty, subtle. And here is a choir with a mask, and I'm trying to make it kind of glowy, like chrome or something, so you can see the colors are changed a little bit. And oh, then I did my print, it was too dark. So I put a levels on everything. Note, there's no clip and mask. There is an option, just to remind you, there is the keystroke for clip and mask option, or layer, clip and mask right there. I won't do it, just to remind you. Change, there's change. Change has a screen on it, different color of change with the screen on it. Created different color in a little subtler, make it kind of soft and ripply like. Create copy, 3 of them I did. Invent, INV, transform. I'm doing a type ideas this way that they're crossing. These are just like trying to do interesting things, composition with type. There I pushed it back, as this one here is they're a little too close and kind of fighting with each other. So there I made it lighter, subtler, pushed it back. And that's that, folks. So that is supposed to be an inspiration for you to use your new tools, becoming advanced Photoshop users, doing creative, inventive work of your own using, due presentation due after the spring break. No, I want that. I want to review this file, open. I'm sorry. Open. I'm gonna just to make sure that we're all on the same page here. Okay, well, I was going to ask if I'll ask in a minute. Let's do this first. Project 1, Project 2, Picture Perfect. Everybody understands Picture Perfect, right? Okay, you're ready to hand that in. Hand that in. I give you a grade on, when we come back, you'll have a midterm grade, second midterm grade. I think I've given you one. All right, 8.5 by 11, resolution 150, composite image of 4 or more photographs, inclusive of typography. And I've explained kind of explained it. I've already said everything here I talked about in my my explanation. But here it is in words. Download the photograph from the web. Use imagery that has not been digitally altered or transformed. Do not use artwork such as paintings or illustrations from other artists. If you have those, use them. Use yours only. Your only or straight photography is the best you can choose, which means no manipulations if you can avoid them. Give evidence you have mastered these 5 techniques. Your grade will be determined by mastery of technique and clarity of composition and aesthetic style. And here are 3 different directions. 1, 2, 3. Everybody has these descriptions in the syllabus, and you can use 3 of the following words. Use 3 of the following words. Use 4 images, 3 of the following words. Yay, 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 yay. I've covered everything I wanted to cover today. Any comments? Can I have a comment, please? Can I have a word from a human being? Just a few.
I think the next project looks like it'll be fun to work on.
Oh, great. I think so too. But you know that you had to get all these techniques before you could have the real toolbox to be able to do this. So that's what all that earlier stuff was about. And hopefully it made sense that you had to do that earlier selection, save selection, make a grid. And because now we're kind of free and we're using it and using those basic things in a very complex way. But if you hopefully I presented it in a logical step by step, so everything added onto each other and you can understand it, right? And just a matter of practice. Thank you, Savannah, for speaking up. Anybody else want to say anything? How about happy spring break? Cairo, would you like to say happy spring break?
Happy spring break.
All right, then. We're done, everybody. Enjoy the next week. I'll see ya. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.